Here's my simple, no muss, no fuss, need a tassel in a hurry. Here's a quick way to make one. If you have, I have these little mini books. If you have something like that, these work great. It can be a little notepad paper or your hand, which is what I'm going to use. So you'll just need a large eye blunt tip yarn needle that goes with about the same size as your yarn. However, if you are going to say add beads to that as well, then you will need a large hole type of bead that is going to fit the yarn needle plus the yarn through with a couple of different passes if you want to put the bead at the top of your work. Alright, and of course scissors. So what I do when I start is I decide on how long I want the tassel to be approximately, so I have that in my mind, and then I'm going to cut 2 lengths of yarn, like a little bit longer, say, than the tassel itself, because that's going to get trimmed and blended in with the strands of the tassel. Okay, so I'm going to cut that and cut another strip, and I always like to have a more than I need rather than run short. But take your hand, palm up, facing you, take your tail end, drape that over your palm, leave a little at the end. You can use this for 3 different size length of tassels, 2 if you want a little bitty short one, 3 medium, and 4 is my larger length. So you want to keep your yarn where it is the most straightest part of your finger, your hand going across flush with your fingers. You can open them a little bit if you need to. It's just easier to keep everything closed. Then just wrap your yarn around however many times, the thickness that you want it. Because this is super bulky yarn, I'm going to go 6 times. Cut your yarn. We're going to give it a trim anyway. Doesn't matter if they are exactly even. And then don't take it off your hand. Grab one of your strands just cut, slide that through to the other side, try to even those to the 2 ends up, and then just slide them to the top. Make sure the end that you cut, both ends, the last end you cut will be behind your hand and the first one on top. Alright, and then bring those together. Now you can let go gently, keep that flat. You can take a little something to weight it down if you like to hold it in place. You can use your arm, your wrist, if you want to, just like that as you're working it, because all we're going to do now, okay, is tie a little square knot. So left over right, and go slow when you close that, and then right over left. And then now I'm going to give that first one a little tug, and then the knot holding it a good tug without breaking my yarn. Then take your second piece, the strand that we cut, and that one, smooth all these guys out a little bit. You can cut it now if you want. You can cut it after the fact. Let's just go ahead. I'll just go ahead. It doesn't matter either way. And I take my scissors, bring it through the center of my loop and give it a little tug, so I know I'm cutting right in the center. Alright, I give a little comb out. And then take that second strand, place that down. There we go. Now you put this on top. And decide where you want that top piece, how far up you want that to be, because this is where we will knot it again. So again, make a square knot. Okay. And then you can take your fingers, you can take a yarn needle. I make sure that all my strands, some that might have gotten cinched down a little too tight, I'll pull those up and out a little bit. Okay. Take one strand on the right, wrap it around, strand on the left, and then you wrap it around left to right. That gives you a little bit of a center band as well. This can be your back. You can knot that again. Okay. And when you are wrapping your yarn around one side and then back around the other, try to cross over the top of that knot in the back to help camouflage that and hide that a little bit. Here I did not do very thick of a band, which you can make it higher if you want to, depending on how many times you wrap around. And you can see on the finer yarn, which is a light number 4, but finer in comparison to the super bulky, it's a lot easier, can you see that, to camouflage that knot in the back a little bit. And then now take a yarn needle and fit it without splitting your yarn. You just feel it go through. Try to get it down to the center of your tassel. Okay. And then pull it through gently, not hard, just until that knot goes through. Then you into your work, and then you can pull the rest of that strand out. That down. Do the same with your other, just to bury those, and we'll make the bottom tassel part even a little bit more full. Okay. And it looks like I did miss one. Didn't catch them all at the very beginning. That's easy enough. Just and do the same thing. I am not going to start this tassel all over, and all you have to do is just poke it down the center, feed it right on through there. Again, can clean up the edges, which I am going to do with a sharper, smaller pair of scissors, and then you would just attach it in your usual way. If you want to add a bead, I'm going to even up these two ends here. Take my yarn needle, fit both strands through, grab one of my beads, okay, and then just feed it through the end, your yarn needle all the way down. And I don't know if you heard that slight little pop sound. That was the bead fitting over top of my top knot, so it hides that. And then you have a really nice little bead. If you want, you can make, just to keep that from sliding upward, depending on how high you are attaching your tassel to the work that you are making. Okay. You can also do a little knot. You could do a knot with the two strands together, and then make sure that knot, you slide it down as you knot it. You slide the knot down so that it winds up at the base and not like way up here. Okay, you can knot it like that. I'm not going to do it all the way because I'm going to take that out, but that gives you an idea. I think that would make kind of maybe an interesting look with the yarn on top. Or you can just simply do a square knot with these two strands. a little extra knot at the top, or you can just leave it as it is with the thickness of this yarn and going over the top knot. It helps keep that secure. You can add whatever you want, and this is on a market tote bag. I took an open jump ring and a heavy gauge, and I went through the loop at the top, and then I used beading wire, okay, and I added on all of little decoration, and then attached a large lobster claw onto the market bag itself. That makes a really fun little look also. A lot of different things you can do with these. And if you just take a couple extra more minutes, then your project will be all the more special. Well, there you have it, my little tutorial for a quick and easy tassel made in just a few minutes. And they're kind of a fun thing too for you're wrapping a present and want to add one. Put a little hang tag, gift tag on. Makes a very fun presentation and a way to use up little bits of leftover yarn. Alright, I hope you will give me a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. If you haven't already, please come back again, and I will see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.